Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm your host, Siren Frost, and happy 4th of July to all of you. Today I'm giving you guys a new deck profile video I've been wanting to do for a little while. This is my Dragonic Kaiser Vermillion deck profile. This debuted in the Set 11 collection, Clash of the Heroes, and I know it's been a little while since I try to do this deck profile. It's just the problem is I never got any of that collection at all, so it's kind of a bitch to get every single ride line from that collection and all the cards alone. So, you know, you do what you have to do, right? But lately, with a little help and some people from my shops, I was able to get some of the promo that goes with it and the cards that are supposed to be for the deck. So this is a good thing to have. This is one of the encounter decks that Bushiroad decided to give us in Set 11, along with Blonde Ezreal. But unfortunately, I don't have Blonde Ezreal ready yet. So he's not going to be ready for quite some time. But hopefully soon, he will be. During this time, we're mixing together with D format, DZ format. So it's going to be like a lot of things mixed into it at this point. But you know what? When it happens, it happens. So quick backstory on this deck profile. This deck actually is going to be ownered by Naoki Ishida. Now, if we all remember in Season 2 of the original Cardfight Vanguard series, Toshiki Kai was the original owner of Vermillion during his match against Leon Soryu with Maelstrom. Unfortunately, I don't think we have their blood anytime soon, so we won't be knowing about that little gimmick right there. But, and I think in the next season, after that happened, I think Naoki Ishida came in the picture, and he became the new Narukami master, or Narukami player. So I kind of figured this would be a good thing to have at some point, maybe, if that's or buts. In the V series of Vanguard, I think it's the manga version and how the reboot is, I think. Naoki Ishida is the original, it become the owner of Kaiser Vermillion. I don't know why I'm speaking this in the wrong way. Now, if we all know one thing, I was never really that great with Narukami when I first had the trial deck of the compressed. It was some kind of dragon. It's during the Break Ride series when everyone had a Break Ride, pretty much. So I had Narukami, the trial deck, and my ex-teammate back then was playing the Garmor version. So we were just testing out brand new ones. And I chose Narukami as my deck. And I still didn't get quite the whole concept of it. But in this concept of the D series, basically the main goal is to get Eternal Thunderbolt from the deck or drop into your hand, so you can no, let me rephrase that again. You can get a Thunderbolt from the deck and to get into your hand, but as long as you have a Thunderbolt in the drop, you can activate it from the drop, and then that's when Vermillion's effect will come into play. So that's what I meant to say, but just hear me out on that one. I've never been properly testing this deck that much. I've tested maybe a couple times before when I finally made it. Hopefully it goes well. But if not, we'll always try again. Now, to get on the deck profile ride line, we're starting off with the energy generator from the collection, from the start decks. Now, for the ride line, we have Staticrack Dragon. So he's the official one. We have Red River Dragoon. When this unit is rode upon by a grade 2 card with only Narukami in its clan, search your deck for up to one Eternal Thunderbolt, reveal it, and put it into your hand and shuffle the deck. When this unit boosts, if you have a grade 3 or grade Vanguard with Narukami in its clan, Counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's back row rear guards and bind it. If you do not bind a card, you may soul charge 2. So, and yes, we're going to be actually doing a full playset of pretty much everything in this deck, because that's how the deck's supposed to work. So I think that's how all the clan or encounter decks are going to be. But with the more support comes out, then we'll change it up more and more again. But for right now, this is what we have for the right line. Next, we have Thunderstorm Dragoon. When this unit is ruled upon by a grade 3 with only Naoki in its clan, look at the top 7 cards of the deck. Choose up to 1 card with only Naoki for its clan, or up to 1 internal Thunderbolt from among them. Reveal it and put it into hand and shuffle the deck. When this unit is placed on rearguard, if you have Vanguard with only Naoki in its clan, soul charge 1, and this unit gets 5,000 power until the end of the turn. So there's that right there. And then finally, we have the Grand Hype Boss himself, Dragonic Kaiser Vermillion. And believe it or not, I've always wanted to own this card for some reason. I thought it looked pretty cool for the armor. His new effect is, or maybe his old effect, I don't know. Don't quote me on this. So it's a 1-turn active skill, Counterblast 1, choose 2 of your units with only Naoki in its clan, they get 5,000 power until the turn. Until the end of the turn, when this unit would attack, choose 2 of your opponent's rear guards, and this unit battles all of the units in the chosen rear guards and your opponent's vanguard. Okay? At the end of the battle, this unit attacked. If you played a normal order this turn, and your opponent's damage zone has 4 or less cards, discard a card from your hand, choose one of your opponent's vanguards, and deal 1 damage. So, that's the juicy part of it. It lets you to get rid of your opponent's rear guards, maybe interceptors or so, and then just go straight for the kill, then deal 1 damage along with it. So, and then that's where I think the combination of Vermillion and Thunderbolt come into play. So that's one of them. So this is the confirmed ride line. I'm not going to say too much about it. And yes, we're using the Toya Ibata sleeves, aka Dragon Empire sleeves, when I have them, to show what the deck might be. Now, everyone has a different opinion. Now, I've seen another player at the shop that I go to who actually loves Naoki, and he's right now one of the only Naoki players I've known so far, and he's been giving me some tips and points of what this deck can be, and just tell me what it's meant to be, stuff like that. I can always add my little touch to it sometimes, which I did to the trigger lineup, because I just stick it to my usual safe space, kind of like 4 heals, 8 criticals, 3 fronts, and 1 over trigger. Because, even though draws are pretty good to have, I may reconfigure that by again soon, I decided to go straight just for my normal thing. So, of course, we're playing 4 copies of Blaze Maiden and Reony. Just try and keep that theme of reincarnation, basically to make it almost feel like the old Naoki deck again. Then we also have 4 copies of Conduct Spark Dragon, which is also a theme for Thunder. So, why not? 4 copies of Burning Flail Dragon for the Soul Critical extra 20 effect triggers and also like that. 3 copies of Blaze Man and Parama, just because I like to play 20k shield value when it defends. And of course, Dragveda. Just to get that nice little feel to it, like just to overtrigger, restand in, and do that whole bullshit again. This might be a little bit more aggressive, believe it or not, but it's whatever. And yes, we are using the duo sleeves. I think this is the Amber version. This is Ember. So, that's Dragon Shields for you. Sorry, I've been kind of sick for a couple weeks now. A couple days. Excuse me. Okay. And of course, for grade 1, like I said, we have to, play set everything pretty much. So we got 3 more copies of Red River Dragoon. 4 copies of Rising Phoenix. It's a drop ability. When any card is bound during your turn or your card effect during your turn or turn by your card effect, if you have Vanguard with Naoki in its clan, Soul Blast 1 and call this to rear guard. Active skill. Retire this unit. Choose one of your Choose one of your units, and it gets plus 5,000 power in the turn. So it does add, a bit more of a better effect to it. Now, here comes the units I think might be good for. Or at least one more. 4 copies of Staticrack Dragon. When your other unit is placed on a rear guard in the same column as this unit during the turn, that place unit gets 5,000 power in the turn. And this came out in the set A collection, so I figure it might be a good option. You know, one of the few things you can use for. And of course, we have 4 copies of Twin Buckler Dragon, just because. Why not? I could always use the new one we have, the Sparkle Rejector Dragon, but I figured that this is not a bad thing to have either. It's just to each their own. So next we have grade 2s, and there's not much grade 2s in this deck. This is what I think is personally what's going to change. I have 3 more copies of Thunderstorm Dragoon, because it is Naoki, so why not give it the theme? 4 copies of Dragonic Deathscythe. During your turn, if your opponent's front row has no rear guards, this unit gets plus 5,000 power. So basically, every single thing in this deck gains 5,000 power, pretty much. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if you have grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Naoki in its clan, so blast 2, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and bind it. If you're not binding a card, you draw a card. And of course, these 2 are just what I got so far, but I figure I just try to find what I can. I'm going with 2 copies of Dragritter Kassim. This regard skill, active skill is bind this unit, choose up to 2 face-up cards from your opponent's binding zone, and your opponent puts those cards on the bottom of their deck, in any order. If you choose 2 cards for this effect, choose one of your opponent's vanguards and gets 5,000 power in the turn. Oh, choose one of your vanguards. Sorry, I don't know why I say opponents. I don't know either. I'm just talking on my ass, pretty much. But I figured this would be a good theme, you know, go with it. You know, it's a good start for me, you know, to understand the concept. I know everybody has a different opinion about Naoki, but this is just what I want to find in the concept of things, and this is the best I can do for right now. But maybe that's maybe more to the story. And then finally, we have 3 more copies of Kaiser Vermillion for personification ability. Persona Ride, 3 copies of the promo Roughkur Hammer Dragon. When this unit attacks, if you play a normal order this turn, this unit gets 5,000 power into that battle. Until the end of that battle, counterblast 1, draw a card, and bind this unit. Okay. Bind Zone effect. When you play a normal order, if you have a Vanguard of Vermillion in its card name and only Naoki units for its clan, and you do not have a rear guard with the same card name as this unit, you may call this card to rear guard. So it may come back from the bind zone when it's like not so grounded, and after all. So it'd be kind of nice to have him. Maybe about 4 of this guy. Maybe that's just my personal opinion. I might take out some cards, you know, mix and match. But until then, this is the best I can do and come up with a plan so we can introduce more cards. Finally, we have Vermillion's signature order card, Eternal Thunderbolt. This card can only be played from drop, and play this card if you have Vanguard with Vermillion in its card name and only Naoki for its clan. Okay, well that's not so bad after all. Choose one of your Vanguards, and until the end of the turn, it gets this skill. Continuous Vanguard. When your opponent's rear guard is hit by this unit and would be retired from rear guard, bind it instead of retiring and continue effect. If your opponent has no rear guards and all of your front row rear guards, all your front row. Okay, sorry, I'm just getting so excited. Okay, let's try again. If your opponent has no rear guards, all of your front row rear guards get 5,000 power. If you played this card from your drop, bind this card. There, finally! I get tongue-tied these cards quite easily when I'm so excited. So yeah, this is the card is essential for a Vermillion deck. This is the card's going to help you win and help you get some things off the board and make it like a swift kill by the sword. You know? But anyways, I don't know. God, I don't know why that was so hard for me to just say that. But that is it for the deck profile video for Dragonic Kaiser Vermillion. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Pretty much so. I'm sorry if there's a lot of like tongue-tying, craziness going on, and all that shit. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I did work a lot hard to try to find this deck that would be comparable to the units and everything else. I still gotta do a little bit more research on this deck, but for right now, this is the best I can do for right now. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. If you guys like the content I do create for the channel, please subscribe, comment down below, thumbs up for this video, show some love, and stay tuned for part 2 of deck profiles for today. And as always, I've been your host, Siren Frost, signing out.